For thousands of years, their story have been teaching us what true love is. Not just passion, but trust and growth. Once upon a time, a king and queen had 3 wonderful daughters, but their youngest, Psyche, was renowned for her unparalleled beauty. She was so stunning that people began to worship her, offering prayers and sacrifices to her instead of Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. Enraged and offended, Aphrodite grew viciously jealous of Psyche and sought revenge. She ordered her son, Eros, to strike Psyche with an arrow so she would fall in love with a hideous beast. However, upon seeing Psyche, Eros was so captivated by her beauty that he accidentally scratched himself with the tip of his arrow, causing him to fall madly in love with her. Meanwhile, Psyche's father, desperate to find a husband for his daughter, sought guidance from the oracle of Apollo. The oracle instructed the king to take Psyche to a mountain crag, where she was destined to marry a serpent-like, winged creature. Heartbroken, Psyche was dressed in black and brought to the mountain's summit, where she awaited her fate in despair. As she succumbed to melancholy sleep, Zephyr, the gentle west wind, lifted her into the air and carried her to an unknown land. When she awoke, she discovered a magnificent golden palace filled with riches beyond imagination. Though she could hear the welcoming voices of unseen servants, she could see no one. These voices assured her that the palace and all its treasures belonged to her, as she was now wed to its mysterious master. That night, as Psyche lay in bed, her unseen husband arrived in the darkness, never revealing his identity. He treated her with kindness and affection, asking only one thing in return, that she never look upon him. Although fearful at first, Psyche soon realized that he was not a monster but a loving husband, and she found great joy in their time together. Days turned into weeks, and Psyche's life in the palace was filled with happiness. However, loneliness crept into her heart. She missed her family and longed for companionship beyond the invisible voices and her secretive husband. She pleaded with him to allow her sisters to visit, and he reluctantly agreed. When her sisters arrived and saw Psyche's opulent palace, they were consumed with envy. They planted doubt in Psyche's mind, convincing her that her husband must be the monster foretold by the oracle, which was why he refused to show himself. They urged her to take a dagger and an oil lamp, and when he was asleep, to light the lamp, reveal his true form, and slay him if he was indeed a beast. That night, Psyche stayed awake until her husband fell asleep. As she lit the lamp, she was stunned to find not a monster, but a glorious winged god, Eros himself. Overcome with love, she gazed at his divine form, but in her excitement, a drop of hot oil spilled from the lamp onto his shoulder, waking him. Seeing Psyche with a dagger, Eros knew she had broken her promise. Heartbroken and betrayed, he fled, leaving Psyche devastated. Determined to prove her love, Psyche embarked on a painful journey to find Eros. She wandered across lands in search of him until she arrived at Aphrodite's temple. Humbled and desperate, she offered herself to the goddess, pleading for forgiveness. However, Aphrodite, still full of malice, assigned Psyche a series of impossible tasks. For the first trial, Aphrodite threw a massive heap of wheat, barley, poppy seeds, chickpeas, lentils, and beans onto the floor, ordering Psyche to sort them before dawn. The task was insurmountable for a mortal. but a colony of ants took pity on her and quickly separated the grains, allowing Psyche to complete the task. For the second challenge, Psyche was ordered to cross a treacherous river and gather golden wool from violent sheep, grazing on the other side. Exhausted and hopeless, she nearly drowned herself in despair. However, a divinely inspired reed advised her to wait until sunset and collect strands of golden fleece that had caught on low-hanging branches, avoiding danger. She followed this wisdom and successfully completed the task. In the third trial, Aphrodite handed Psyche a crystal vessel and ordered her to collect black water from the river Styx, the deadly river separating Earth and the underworld. However, the water source was guarded by jagged cliffs and monstrous serpents. Seeing her plight, Zeus took pity on Psyche and sent his mighty eagle to retrieve the water for her, sparing her from certain doom. The final and most perilous task required Psyche to descend into the underworld itself. Aphrodite commanded her to retrieve a dose of beauty from Persephone, the queen of the underworld, in a small box. Weakened by her ordeals, Psyche nearly succumbed to despair and climbed a high tower to throw herself off. But the tower spoke to her, urging her to continue and guiding her on how to navigate the underworld safely. Psyche followed the tower's advice precisely, bribing Charon, the ferryman, with coins and distracting Cerberus, the three-headed guard dog, with honey-soaked barley cakes. She refused all distractions and temptations along the way and successfully retrieved the beauty from Persephone. However, as she returned, curiosity overtook her. Believing the box contained divine beauty, she opened it, only to be consumed by a deathly sleep. Eros, unable to bear their separation, searched for Psyche and found her lifeless body. He wiped the sleep from her and sealed it back in the box. Filled with love and regret, he pleaded with Zeus to intervene and stop Aphrodite's cruelty. Sympathetic to their love, Zeus granted his blessing. Psyche was escorted to the heavens, where she was given ambrosia, the nectar of the gods, making her immortal. Zeus officially legitimized their union, and at last, Eros and Psyche were allowed to be together for eternity. Their love gave birth to a daughter, Hedone, the goddess of pleasure, symbolizing the joy that comes from the union of love and the soul. If you liked our video, please like and subscribe for more stories.